Imagine walking into a room and having every person notice you, every eye subtly drawn to your presence. Not because you raised your voice, not because you flaunted wealth or status, but simply because your body speaks with confidence, authority, and silent influence. Today, we explore 5 shocking psychological tricks rooted in body language that can transform the way the world perceives you, and how you perceive yourself. The first trick is deceptively simple yet profoundly effective: power poses. When you stand tall, shoulders back, chest open, and chin slightly raised, your brain doesn't just signal confidence, it releases hormones that reduce stress and elevate assertiveness. In other words, your posture doesn't just tell others you are powerful, it convinces your own mind that you are. Sitting slouched or shrinking into yourself signals vulnerability, whereas standing with intention primes both body and mind for dominance. Even 2 minutes of a power pose before an important conversation can shift the psychological tide in your favor. The second trick revolves around the subtle art of mirroring. Humans are wired to connect with those who reflect them. By subtly mimicking gestures, speech patterns, or even facial expressions, you create an unconscious bond. This isn't about imitation, it's about empathy amplified to a psychological level. When done with finesse, mirroring makes others more likely to trust, agree, and even follow your lead, all while believing the connection was entirely natural. Third, we examine the power of eye contact. Eyes are windows not just to the soul but to influence. Direct, confident eye contact can command attention and convey credibility, whereas avoiding the gaze can make even the most brilliant ideas seem timid. Mastering eye contact is about rhythm, long enough to convey authority, brief enough to remain approachable. In social dynamics, the eyes often dictate who leads, who follows, and who is simply overlooked. Our fourth trick uncovers the hidden signals of microexpressions. These fleeting facial movements, sometimes lasting less than a second, reveal emotions others attempt to conceal. The ability to read subtle cues allows you to anticipate reactions, adjust strategies, and respond with uncanny precision. Recognizing a flicker of doubt, hesitation, or excitement grants a psychological edge, turning ordinary interactions into moments of influence and control. Finally, we arrive at gesture anchoring. Deliberate hand movements, positioning, or the act of touching an object while speaking can create strong mental associations in your listener's mind. When paired with verbal emphasis, gestures anchor your words, making statements appear more powerful and persuasive. This trick taps into how our brains process physical cues as reinforcement of spoken truth, subtly elevating your credibility and authority. Taken together, these 5 psychological tools, power poses, mirroring, eye contact, micro-expression reading, and gesture anchoring, don't just make you more noticeable. They grant a form of influence that feels effortless because it is deeply human, rooted in psychology rather than force. You don't need charisma, wealth, or status, you need awareness of the silent signals your body sends and the skills to use them with precision. Master these techniques, and the room responds to you differently. Conversations shift, doors open, and subtle power follows naturally, almost imperceptibly, because it is not about imposing dominance but about embodying it. True psychological influence begins with the self, and the body is the first language we speak. Learn it well, and you speak power itself.